ورتل القرآن ترتيلا.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalam-u-Alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this lesson of Quran Tajweed course ورتل القرآن ترتيلا. If you're new to this channel, let me tell you that this channel, ILM Explorer, is dedicated to the teachings of the Holy Quran and the authentic Sunnah of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in this video series named ورتل القرآن ترتيلا, we are learning Tajweed. That is the correct way of reciting the Holy Quran in its original Arabic text. So if you're really serious about learning the recitation of the Holy Quran, then do subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications by tapping the bell icon. Okay? In today's lesson, we are going to learn the rules pertaining to the letters Mim and Noon. With that, we will also learn the concept of nasalization, that is Ghunnah. This concept of nasalization or Ghunnah is very significant in beautifying or enhancing your recitation. So if you want to enhance your recitation of the Holy Quran and adorn it with melodious sounds, then watch this video till the end. It's quite a long topic and it is not possible to fit it in just 10 or 15 minutes, so we will have to break it down into 2 or 3 lessons. Okay? So let's start without wasting our time. In order to learn different rules pertaining to these two letters, Noon and Mim, we have to first understand the concept of nasalization or Ghunnah. So what is this Ghunnah or nasalization? هي صوت يخرج من الخيشوم تكون تابعة للنون والميم. It is a sound that is emitted from the nasal passage, and it is associated with these two letters Noon and Mim. So Ghunnah is a sound that comes out of our nose when we pronounce these two letters Noon and Mim. It is this sound like okay? If you remember, when we learned the makhraj of Noon and Mim, I told you that some air escapes from our nose when we articulate these letters, right? Which produces this nasal effect or Ghunnah in these two letters Mim and Noon. This sound of Ghunnah or nasalization is always present in Noon and Mim, whether they are mutaharrik, they are sakin, or they are mushaddad. By the way, if these terms sakin, mutaharrik, mushaddad sound unfamiliar to you, let me remind you that we have already discussed all these terms and their meanings in the lessons 8, 9 and 10 and a few later lessons as well. And if you want, you can revisit those lessons by clicking this I button above. So these letters Noon and Mim are articulated with this special characteristic, that is Ghunnah or a nasal sound, whatever condition they may be in. And the articulation point of this Ghunnah is our nose. You can ascertain it by closing your nose while articulating Noon and Mim with different vowels or sukoon on them. See? Na, na, ni, no, and, in, ma, bi, bu, in, So we cannot pronounce these letters properly if we close our nose. That means these letters have to be accompanied by this nasalization or gunnah in all conditions. Now this gunnah has different gradings or levels. You know, we can make it long, we can make it very short, or we can make it a medium length, right? There are basically 4 levels of gunnah, which are called maratibul gunnah, and they are, the first one is akmal, meaning the most complete gunnah. The second one is kamila, meaning the complete gunnah. The third one is naqisa, meaning incomplete gunnah. And the fourth one is anqas, meaning the most incomplete gunnah. These ranks or lengths of gunnah depend upon the conditions of noon and meme. I mean, whether these letters noon and meme have a vowel sign, a jazm sign, or a shadda sign on them, it will determine the length of gunnah for them. And sometimes even which letter follows them, that determines the length of gunnah. We have to discuss all these levels of gunnah in detail and see when and how they apply to these letters noon and meme. But because of limitation of time, we will just be able to discuss one of them here in this lesson, and we will discuss remaining 3 levels in the next lesson or the next few lessons. Okay? So the first level of gunnah is akmal gunnah, or the most complete gunnah. This is the longest gunnah, and it happens on noon and meme when these 2 letters are mushaddad, meaning when they have a shadda or a tashdeed sign on them. Okay? So when noon and meme have shadda on them, we have to stop the voice in our nose for the longest time. In other words, we may say that we have to let the air escape from our nose for the longest time when we read noon mushaddad or meme mushaddad. Let's see how it sounds in different words. See these words and phrases on your screen. All of them have a shadda either on a noon or a meme. Let's read them with this gunnah on noon and meme. Min al-jinnati wan-nas lamma innama muzzammilu amma yatasaalun jannatin na'im ilan nur thumma latus'alunna fa ummuhu. So we read this noon mushaddad or meme mushaddad with a gunnah by stopping the voice for some time in our nose. This akmal or complete gunnah happens in one more case, and that is idgham ma'a gunnah. Now what is this idgham ma'a gunnah? Although we have to learn it in detail in the next lesson, let me briefly tell you what it is. It is the assimilation or insertion of noon into another letter that follows it, but keeping this property of gunnah in noon intact. There are 4 letters. If they follow a noon sakin, this noon sakin gets partially assimilated in them. Those 4 letters are ya, waw, meme, and noon itself. If these letters are preceded by noon sakin, or if a noon sakin comes before them, that noon sakin gets inserted into these letters with gunnah or nasalization, like أن يشاء من ورائهم. So here in these words we inserted the letter noon in the next letter, that is ya or waw. So in this case also, that is idgham ma'a gunnah, the length of gunnah is at its maximum, like it's in noon mushaddad and mim mushaddad. We will learn more about this idgham in the next lesson. Here I just wanted to highlight the full length of gunnah. Now, what should be this maximum or full length of gunnah? It should be equal to 1 alif. That means as much time as it takes us to read an alif, we should stretch this akmal gunnah for the same amount of time. For example, when we say la, ba or ja, the amount of time that we take reading this alif should also be the length of akmal gunnah. Okay? Like ja, an, la, am. Okay? Now let's listen to a few ayat from some famous surahs and see if you can point out this gunnah in their recitation.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عما يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا وأما من خفت موازينه فأمه هاوية.
I hope you were able to catch the instances of gunnah in these ayat. It's excellent if you were, but if you were not able to catch them, no need to worry, because we will learn more about it in the next lesson. So see you in the next lesson, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.